Hey, 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 hey. Today's scripture, Psalms 85 2. You have forgiven the bad things your people did. You have taken away the guilt of their sins. You have forgiven the bad things your people did, and you have taken away their sins. To God be the glory. Today is my 104th post for the 254-day challenge. I would like to thank you for taking time to stop by. Hopefully, what I share will be a little nugget for you today, as it was for me. I spent the day listening to a broadcast by Tasha K, where she interviewed Jessica Reed, a young lady that I was not familiar with, or an incident that I also wasn't familiar with. The interview with Jessica Reed, done by Tasha K, took a little bit over 3 hours. The title is what got me, though. Jessica Reed, at the age of 15 years old, being violated by Charlemagne Tha God, had me on my side, baby, ready to pull up. Unreal. What I do want to say is the only bird that would peck at an eagle is the crow. He sits on his back and bites his neck. The eagle does not respond or fight with the crow. It doesn't waste time or energy on the crow. It simply opens its wings and begins to rise higher in the sky. The higher the flight, the harder it is for the crow to breathe. Eventually, the crow falls due to a lack of oxygen. Eventually, the crow falls due to a lack of oxygen. I say this because I just was in awe of this young lady and recognize the eagles. I too am an eagle. Understanding we need to stop wasting our time with the crows. Just take them to new heights and they will fall. The picture you see here is a screenshot from a t-shirt from back in 2010 where the United States Census sponsored my movement in the prevention and awareness of child abuse and neglect. At the time, I lived in Decatur. Was it? No, Stone Mountain, Georgia. I worked in Decatur, Georgia, 30032. It's during that time they had the highest numbers in everything. Child abuse and neglect, foreclosures, robberies, persons infected with HIV. There was a number of things that was going on in that community. And at the time, I was volunteering, doing volunteer work with the Initiative. The DeKalb Initiative for Children and Families. And I came across the opportunity where the United States Census was trying to get the message out about the count and it being in our hands. So I wrote out a grant and was awarded funds where I was able to get materials out of my own with the support of census. So while pushing my items, I was also pushing the United States Census, and was so thankful for this opportunity, as it was they provided me with great tools to be able to put out in the community for that purpose. I'm skipping over now. I want to talk about where I am now in the Fly for 44, where there's a number of things that I tapped into and how I came about that name. First, starting with Jay-Z and the 444. Then it took me to the American Airlines Flight 444 with the Unabomber, and where he attempted to, he planted a bomb in the cargo of that plane, where a sucking explosion, a loss of pressure, and from what I read, smoke filled the cabin, and the pilots made an emergency landing at the Dulles International Airport, and thankfully no one was hurt. 12 passengers did get treated for smoke inhalation. And so when I read that story, first it was the 12 passengers. First of all, it was the fact that no weapons formed against them prospered that was aboard that flight that day. And then it was the 12 passengers who suffered the smoke inhalation. I wonder where they are today. So I think of them as the 12 disciples, and being able to share that testimony. But yeah, so go back to the child abuse and neglect, where I am a survivor. And starting off with this 254-day challenge, it was a little rough for me because I was battling with siblings where we're mourning the death of our mom, the passing of our mom, who passed back on December the 1st, 2021. And let me go back. Psalms 85:2. You have forgiven the bad things your people did. Today, I was on fire. Listening to Jessica Reed's testimony, her sharing her story on that broadcast, it opened up some things for myself. One, where Tasha K shared how previously Jessica Reed, whose mom name is Joyce, they had a spat. And now understand, it was a revelation also for Tasha K and understanding Mrs. Reed handled the situation the best that she could handle with what she had, as she had been fighting her own demons. But what really got me is the popularity mode on Charlemagne Tha God, and how he was able to slip through the cracks on this. He definitely slipped through the cracks on this, because had Mrs. Reed allowed her daughter Jessica to stay in the city in which they were and testify against Charlemagne, he wouldn't be in a position that he's in now. And so my take on it, first, I listen to the Breakfast Club on some mornings when I am on my way to work. And it's a great show. Some of the topics, definitely be on point and needed for the culture. But one thing that's disturbing for me is the jokes that goes on with regards to homosexuality. I really don't find that funny at all. And in a sense, sometimes I be, thinking, is he undercover? And then, just to see him, his face, it's like, my spirit has always, I don't know, that's what I see. Gayness. And then just to listen to that podcast, I'm gonna say this. If you have the time, do go over to Tasha K and check out the interview that she did with Jessica Reed, titled "I Was 15 When Charlemagne Tha God Violated Me." And let me make a note of this. At that time, Charlemagne Tha God was 22 years old. He's a molester, a pedophile, a predator. To hear that girl's story had my blood on fire. And then when Tasha K spoke on it a little more in depth about Charlemagne Tha God, because I'm really not familiar with him, but just hearing about, hearing or being familiar with the Breakfast Club on the radio and listening to, the little interviews and things that they do, with in and out stars, in and out, their station. I wasn't aware of him previously being on an HBO show and that being canceled as a result of a consequence of Jessica Reed. I wasn't aware of him making fun of date rape. It's just so disturbing. How do we let this get past us? How do we let this get past us? But one takeaway that I did get from that, I mean, it was a lot, and definitely fire up under my feet to get the moving. Definitely. Definitely. And I'm feeling myself like really getting stirred up here. But I'm like, cancel. I put a hashtag cancel Charlemagne Tha God. Like, to even hear Tasha K say how his wife's is like standing behind him and admitted that he gave her date rape drug. I'm a little bit confused. I'm actually gonna go back and listen to it again. We got some disturbed folks out here, and the people that's giving them pass is sure just as guilty. I want to say, cancel Charlemagne Tha God. Cancel Charlemagne Tha God. Unreal. Unbelievable. And I know forgiveness. I know. But he got some work to do. And that's on him. He needs to put the mic down. They locked Bill Cosby up. They locked R. Kelly up. Anybody that thinks, I don't care about skin color and who might have. No. The story that I heard today about Charlemagne Tha God was very disturbing. Even more disturbing to hear Tasha K say his wife's name is Jessica, and she her and Jessica Reed could possibly pass for sisters if they're saying that they look alike. That's disturbing to me. Like, unreal. Unreal. Child abuse and neglect. I think about the maltreatments in which I suffered. I think about the abandonment and rejection. I think about the many times I allowed a no good scum heathen come into my space because of my brokenness from what happened to me as a child, being violated. Unreal. Just unreal. But shouts out to Jessica Reed. Shouts out to Jessica Reed for having the courage to stand. And I stand with her. I stand with her. You know, before, just at the beginning, before they even got to talking, just when Tasha K read off the document that she had, the court document that she had to you know, oh my God, my eyes was watering up then, before they even got 2 minutes in. But I sat the entire 3 hours, all ears, because I really couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. But I'm thankful, and I'm so, like, my baby now, I keep her by the hip. She don't understand. If she used to ask, Mommy, can I go over so and so? Mommy, can I spend a... No. Playing outside in front of the house. No visiting inside people's homes. No. She would be one of the ones who would not know what that would be like. Because it's so unfortunate that too many of us have similar stories like Jessica Reed. But to hear Tasha K, now I'm not privy to this. I'm gonna go back and do some research myself. I'm just repeating on um what I witnessed, what I heard on that podcast earlier today. And Tasha K, I've been following her for a minute. She's good at what she does and she knows her stuff. So if she said that this is what she read or this is what she saw or this is what she heard, I believe her. I believe her. And I'm so thankful that she allowed the space that she did. That was an awesome interview. Awesome interview. But I'm gonna have to run now, but you can best believe something is definitely stirred up in me. Even just to think about Charlemagne trying to get ahead of the story and coming out with his lies. I mean, come on. Almost made me want to go read the book because they said he wrote a book and he changed up some stories, but it's just a lot. It's just, please, if you can, go to Tasha K and take a listening, a open mind. Hear them out all the way through. I'm gonna wrap this up here. But songs for the day. Already Here. Brian Courtney Wilson. Oh my goodness. John P. Key. Stan. I've decided to take a stand, not knowing I'll lose some of my friends, but I'd rather live right than in hell. Lift up my eyes. All of God's children just stand. Tell somebody, say, you stand. Stand for holiness. No, I can't sing. No, I can't sing. But that's a song that I love. And I say stand. We gotta take a stand, y'all. Save our children. They are our future. And they can't be our future broken. Have a good night.